Alright, so we have Flying Potato in the Shokaku. In this case, I guess he's against a Razor.
Battle starts.
Good luck, everyone. Good luck and fair seas. Fighter destroyed. Fighter airborne. Fighter destroyed. Fighter airborne.
I think the Akatsuki left his AA on. There's no real reason why I would have known the Akatsuki was there. It's kind of sadness. Good hit.
Concentrate fire on the
This might be too close. You're going into this turn. Okay, so I feel like that was too close. What you ended up doing, you got a really good strike, came over and you wanted to do what I do on stream, or at least it looked like you were imitating what I do, where you will hard cut, slam on the brakes, and hard turn over. You had an engine boost. If you're gonna do that, you need to use your engine boost because you're gonna have to live on that brake because you need time to actually aim. The hard cut is great. Okay, you found the line, but now you also have to get the reticle to be sharp enough to actually do something with it. So in that case, you should have engine boosted and probably given yourself a little more space. That could have been a really big hit.
Attention. Reporting the target position. Fighter airborne. Fighter destroyed.
Yeah, I just not gonna have that shot. Minnesota is one of the AA battleships. Can't really disregard that in terms of output, especially if you're in a Shokaku with tier 8 weaponry. Getting the strike on the Akazuki is okay. Staying with the Minnesota behind it was too much, as you see the planes get ripped up. Let's take a second to look at what's available. Kronstadt Moss going to be over here. This is usually a cockblock party. About nothing moves on this section of the map, which is unfortunate. Richelieu is exposed. That being said, you're not going to solo down the Richelieu. I mean, you could go down and just start dumping into him because you are in a Shokaku. Maybe if this guy's damaged, these guys get interested and move forward. But realistically, these two things are kind of on this island. It's going to be very hard for you to deal with that. Just in general, it's going to be obnoxious. Going for the New Orleans, looks like easy meat. You might get something out of there, which would be okay. And now that the Akazuki's bailed, your Friesland bros coming back in. Friesland seems to be able to take care of themselves against the AA attacks, which is nice. Over here, 5 against, ultimately 5. Is this correct? We haven't seen one of the DDs. We've seen the Mas, the Akazuki. We haven't seen the Yugamo, who's with the Marco Polo. So there's also a Yugamo over here. I hate to say right off C, but this really just does become an epic staring contest. Sometimes it would be better to just write this off. They're going to be like, Akatsuki's blocking the cap. Nothing's going to happen here for like 5 to 10 minutes. Continue work BA. Probably once you go for this, unless you're going to go for that Richelieu and try to make something happen. I mean, you could scout this out, but you have no assistance with it. You probably want to start working A if possible. That's probably a kill. That's good. Good shit.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
Okay.
Off to a great
So
start.
Friesland with the retake, and looking at this, so one of these is down. It's 4v6 now. This is really rough. Your FTG is not running. Your Richelieu is kind of looking to run. Your North Cal is kind of looking to run. You have to somehow figure out how to help with this. It could be rocketing the DDs, the Akazuki, the Yugamo. These have pulled forward. It could be torping the Minnesota. It's just not really something that's a joyous idea, but could do that. Kronstadt's full health. Richelieu's hurt. I don't know. If you go in on this, it's like, it's a risk. Because the risk is, even if you kill this shit, these guys can still hide behind this rock doing nothing. Which can get extremely unpleasant. If you are over here working on this, you might have Friesland stuff where you can add in while he's in smoke. What?
Fighter airborne.
Okay. I think you came over the island looking to do something, but the problem is you don't get to see where the enemy is right away. So, there's a trick for that. When you're coming over an island, you pop a fighter. As the fighter's coming down, it spawns so high up in the sky that it can basically see over an island temporarily. And once you drop the fighter, it will automatically render the enemy ship. You don't have the delay. Do I see it? Oh, okay, I do see it. You automatically get to see it. It's there. So popping a fighter on this side of the island would have given you the idea of where the Kronstadt was, meaning you pick your attack line, you go in and you bomb. What happened there where you, oh shit, you're offline and you're turning and spinning and you threw away 3 planes for free. So, and now yeah, it's, unfortunately, that was a botched drop. It looks like you're just hard committing to A, but that also means that you're going to lose 1, 2, 3 battleships. These are all dead. If you don't assist with this, if somebody doesn't pull a rabbit out of their hat, 3 of your battleships die while these guys sit on their hands. So you really actually need to be looking at A. That drop could have been executed better, but if that drop happened, this stays stalled out. Nothing occurs here. You still either need to work on a Minnesota or more likely you need to mess up the Yugumo and Akazuki to make this into a battleship brawl. If it's a battleship brawl, people know how to battleship brawl. When there's 2 DDs sharking around fucking torping them all the time, that's a very different experience. I disagree with the pre-drop there. Okay. So you are helping your Friesland bro. But, Friesland Blode stayed and got murdered. Yeah, like, having to solo down a Minnesota. So, let's look at this a different way. Let's look at what the Shokaku, or what CVs can and cannot do. Can CVs kill battleships? Yes, in some cases. Well, what do you mean some cases? CVs do a lot of damage. Yes, in some cases. A Shokaku has a certain amount of resources. If you're coming in on the Minnesota and you get 2 drops, which is basically what you got, you've done 20,000 damage. You lost 4 to 5 planes for it. Maybe you used a heal, maybe you only lost 3 to 4. You only get to do that maybe 3 times. 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, that's 60. Plus this thing's going to be healing. Granted, it's not going to heal a torp damage so well, but still, that's a lot of interaction. It's also a lot of time. Your interactions against a Fiji, your interactions against a Yugumo Akazuki, these are going to be much faster. Working on brawling this thing down, it's going to bloody their nose, but it's going to bloody your nose as well. Unfortunately, your Friesland had to bail, and he didn't. Maybe he assumed that you were going to somehow dev strike this thing, but you don't have that kind of damage. You can bloody its nose, you don't kill it outright. Even the Enterprise can rip into a destroyer because it's got rocket planes. Enterprise can bloody a battleship because it's got torps. Enterprise can maybe do something against a battleship with bombs, but it's going to start reaching its limit at probably around 40 to 60,000 damage until it kind of gets more assets back. So it's not going to just outright 100 to 0 a battleship, and with nobody else helping you on the Minnesota, that's just really a problem. The reason why you'd be doing something over at A is because you had 3 battleships against 2 battleships. If you find the Yugumo, if you find the Akazuki, and you snipe them, or you force them into smoke, or you force them behind where they can't get good torp lines, it's 3 battleships against 2 battleships. That's something you could fundamentally win. And then again, this cap just continuing to be a cock block with nothing happening. I don't understand the drop there. Maybe you're trying to like slingshot in. Maybe that's what you're trying to do.
positions. Reporting the position of a strategic target.
The enemy is about to win.
Fighter airborne.
So you got a bunch of torps into the Minnesota, which is nice, but like, it just doesn't change it. So ultimately, one, that map, C is a specific issue, a very specific issue of a whole bunch of people just sitting there staring at each other. Nothing happens at C, which sucks. Bravo was open. If you provided spotting, maybe the Friesland would have been able to machine gun some bitches. Also, if the Friesland had bailed on B and gone to Alpha, the Friesland might have been able to machine gun some bitches there too. Also, having Hydro against the Yugamo and the Akatsuki to potentially protect the battleships at the same time. So that could have been something useful. Talked about target priorities. Good kill on the New Orleans. The pre-dropping was a little strange. I assume you were pre-dropping so that you could breach in into the AA line. So basically, pre-drop, hard burn. You wake up, you know, the camera comes back, wakes up at like 4 kilometers from the battleship. So you've dropped 2 planes, you're down to 8, but you've skipped, you know, from 6 kilometers down to 4 kilometers, you skipped that AA. Flak hasn't spawned yet because it doesn't spawn off of non-controlled planes, and then you just dip into a dive and strike. If you were doing it to dodge AA, okay, I get it. I think you had a heal though, so I don't know. I mean, you got 2 drops off of it, worked. As long as it was done for a reason. But A was devastating. C was just a cockblock contest. A is what lost you the game.